bounces. Urban! Living! He hits it!
Just because.
Hey,
wait, did he get to that? I was about to say.
Other spirits fall, but mine has ceased to be broken. You stripping down my private time, my only opponent. And lately I'm but limitless, I'm awoken. So let me show you that everything I sacrificed mattered. All that blood, sweat, tears that I scattered. All that talk, fear that you push me to right here, a new chapter.
Alive here. That's the chance. Can he do it again?
Oh my.
Is he gonna get there again? It goes underneath the ball.
Is he gonna get there?
They need to be defensive. Which might be something actually. Never mind. Wait! CRJ! Look, there's 2 seconds left. Wait!
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the final match of the day. It's going to be a really, really good one. We have a Day A match. I'm Nuko.
Yep.
As you were saying,
I'm Nuko.
so I'll be Kaitsu hosting this last match of the day here. We got some Div A action. It's been a long, way longer than expected time coming. Lots of course technical difficulties, but that's of course what makes it a LAN. It's always fun. You know as well, hosting LANs, it's always craziness happens here.
It's what makes the LAN, you know,
But,
those mistakes.
We are finally here. We've got Div A, our last match. And again, keeping with the trend, it's going to be an elimination match here. We've got in the lower bracket here, the Dragons, who again, were our number 1 seed for Div A, dropping down. And they are going to be taking on the, I'd say pretty highly anticipated here, Northern, I'm blanking, oh my god, help here, Northern Lights. Sorry, again, brain has been fried today. But anyways, they ended up as the 4th seed, I believe, going into this one, so it's going to be interesting to see how this happens here. I'm curious, then kind of we'll go into some stats in a second here, but life on the line, these guys have been waiting around a long time today.
Yeah, I mean, having to, sit around watching these teams play up until, I believe it's just around 9, so we're just now at about an hour and a half, a little bit over schedule, but nonetheless, we're ready to play some games, and, we're just kind of rolling with the punches at this point, but nonetheless, going into this one here, Dragons and Northern Lights, I actually just pulled my phone out. I'm going to put all my money on Dragons. I'm going to put this on right away.
Ooh, interesting.
I have to put all my buys and bucks on Dragons.
I believe it or not, have not bet a single time today, which is a little surprising, but I'm not going to start now, right? I'm gonna keep it. Nuko's in the no phone zone. But yeah, so again, both these players in the lower bracket, kind of looking how they got here. Dragons ended up destroying Pumpkin Smashers 4-0, and then they dropped to Rank Disparity, who we've now seen beat the Dons, and they're in the finals. So absolutely, you got to respect losing to a team as good as Rank Disparity. And then versus Northern Lights, they ended up losing to Rank Disparity. So actually, both of these teams have gotten beat by Rank Disparity. And then Northern Lights, after dropping down, they did beat Pumpkin Smashers, and they did beat Scott Sterling and myself to get the LAN. So Northern Lights, they're on a 2-game win streak to get here.
Yeah, and Rank Disparity has really shown up for this. I mean, they were coming in at the 5th seed here, and they've really came up to, compete. And, seeing the Dragons, kind of lose that one going into this, and now being kind of put on an elimination match is a little bit scary. They had really high expectations throughout the entire season. I believe it was 7-0, and now, the pressure's on. I'm very excited to see how this plays out. Yeah, pressure is on indeed. Again, we've said it once, we've said it 100 times. It is an elimination match here. There's no more lies, right? You had your chance of playoffs. Unfortunately, both these teams did lose, so this is it. Now, the one interesting thing is whoever wins this game, right, it doesn't necessarily get easier because then you have to face the Dons, which we already saw went to a crazy Game 7 versus Disparity. And if you somehow manage that, you then have to win twice versus Rank Disparity. So you only need to win
4 best-of-7s in a row. Now, granted, Northern Lights has already got a 2-game win streak, so they only need to win 6 best-of-7s in a row if they want to take this entire thing.
Shouldn't be hard. Simple. I mean, that's a casual Tuesday.
Exactly, easy for these boys. And like I said, they've been around a long time. But I think we should go and compare these teams a little bit. Nice timing. And looking at Dragons again, they went 7-0 on the season, plus 15. That is crazy.
Yeah.
Compared to anyone else here. And then Northern Lights sitting 4-3 again, pretty middle of the pack here with a +3 differential. But again, it does not mean anything because all that matters is this game right now. Who cares how well you did or how bad you did? It's right now.
Absolutely. And, the Dragons, their shooting percentage as well as the goals per game is really, really showing, why they went 7-0 throughout the entire season. But like you had mentioned earlier, it really does not matter. Also, 6 demos per game from both teams is honestly absurd. That's
what
almost
I'm
an
looking
execution per team.
What I'm looking at right now is the goals per game. Dragons with an average of basically 1 more goal a game. So again, on average, to beat them, you need to score 5 goals. That is ridiculous. And again, like you said, big demos. You talk about Northern Lights, they have Blasky, who goes for a lot of demos. Your Dragons, you have Togs, who goes for a lot of demos. But I think right now, we can compare them all. It doesn't matter. I say we bring it in. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's bring in the Dragons.
Here we are. Here they are. The MSUM Dragons. Led by Grant. Followed by Toads and Stewie. The entire MSUM Dragons Varsity Rocket League team. Everybody give them a warm applause.
Pretty fun little to see them come in. Now, I will say, choose a Rocket League walkout song. You gotta stick to Rocket League, whatever. I won't blame them too much for that one. As this is going to be an unbelievably exciting match again, going against Northern Lights. I mean, it's hard to argue if the Dragons aren't favored again as the #1 seed. But again, they're both in the same spot right now, so I don't think it really matters.
Yeah, like we had talked about before, plus 15 is an absolutely astonishing place to sit at. But losing those 2 first games in playoff, it really puts you on a chopping block, and you got to be a little bit careful going forward here. And I'm really, really putting a lot of money on this one. That's all I'm saying.
Well, I know where you'll be leaning, but either way, I know they got to get some opponents on stage here. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's bring out Northern Lights.
Down but not out. The Northern Lights. Look at that strut. We got Blasky up front. Team captain Marty and Mr. Leppy. This squad is trying to make it through the lower bracket. Let's see if they can do it.
Walk out in their own little special jerseys. That is so cool to see. It's a very unique way to walk out.
Yeah, some people do jerseys. Some people do just some crazy, fake mustaches. They'll do face drawings. Some people will try to make their own walkout song and then not make their own LAN. So it's interesting to see how each team goes about doing this one. But it's always fun to see them come on stage here. So we're not going to waste too much time in terms of talking about stats and everything. I think we go right to your predictions and who you think. I think I already know where you're leaning with as much money as you put on the line.
I'm thinking a game 5. Dragons. Maybe game 6, but I'm gonna initially start with game 5. We're gonna see where it leads to.
For who?
For the Dragons.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know if you changed something here.
I'm a Stewie fan at heart. What can I say?
A Stewie fan at heart. I did cast with Stewie earlier today, and it was a lot of fun. So, and again, I kind of go back and forth because it's the Dragons, they are expected to win, right? They are heavily favored to win. So since you went with the Dragons, do I even bother to? No, I don't. Dragons are gonna win this one. All right, I think it's going to be a 4-1. I was talking earlier kind of behind the scenes. Yeah, I think Dragon's going to be taking this one. If Northern Lights, if they take it, they have a lot of work ahead of them. We'll see if they can do it. But again, Dragons are the #1 seed for a reason, but they've also did lose to a very, very highly sought after Remzik, Whirl, and Shavin combo of that ranked disparity squad. So with Dragons, kind of as we're getting into this one, waiting for the match to go here. As far as like shots per game, yep, that's Dragons. As far as assists per game, yep, Dragons. Goals per game, yep, Dragons. Shooting percent, yep, Dragons. The only thing that Northern Lights has on them is demos and saves, but you typically don't want more saves because that means you're more on the defensive half.
Unless you can figure out some sort of like really nice counterattack in terms of like a demo. I know that you guys obviously have a lot of demos going into this, and you know, if you get a good save, get a demo, and then you can have a quick counterattack. That would be, you know, in terms of stats, that would be a very nice play to go off of. But you know, right now we're just gonna have to see how the cards play.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how it plays. Like I said, we're just, I'm looking at stage, you know, making sure everyone's getting ready to go. I see a little cutie perchance up there, just making sure everything is ready. This has been, like I said, one heck of a day, and so many twists and turns, so many audio issues, but the fact, again, we've had so much amazing supporting cast. People just like sprinting around literally to get cords and cables to get this. We've lost power, we've lost this. You know, maybe the servers just go down for 2 hours because Eminem has a concert. You can't miss that. So, but I think we've got some great Connect 4 content out of that one.
Absolutely, yeah. You know, we have the people in the back just absolutely on the floor, taking a little bit of a nap. Cody was absolutely dead by the end of this, and I do not blame him whatsoever. This guy is
I don't blame him either. I was gonna say, I've got cough drops in me, just the amount of like fires putting out and just running around everywhere. It'll still be interesting here to see what is going to be happening. But again, just waiting for everyone to get in here. This is going to be our last match of the day. Again, it is elimination match. Winner moves on to play the Dons. But as we get into our game 1 here, I think we got a very exciting game on our hands. Allegedly. But
allegedly,
either way,
it
we're
could
gonna
be a 4-0 sweep.
Yeah, we're gonna be starting off here. Stewie gonna be going for this. Actually, this is incredibly awkward for Leffy, and that's just gonna happen here. Stewie gonna start out with a goal early, for seemingly out of nothing.
We're gonna chalk that one up to Stewie just being the GOAT of all time.
Is that what it is? All right, I respect it. I respect it. It only took him 16 seconds for, again, the #1 seed to clutch up here. But again, we've talked about it before, right? You know, this is an elimination match here, and so I think it is going to take a little bit for Northern Lights to get warmed up. I think it's going to take a bit for Dragons to get warmed up. We saw, like, for example, rank disparity in Game 1 versus rank disparity in games, 6 and 7 is completely different. So whatever you're watching right now, this is probably what we won't see in 20 minutes of gameplay.
Absolutely, yeah. You see a little bit of a demo action come up from the Northern Lights here. Marty trying to go for a shot. Doesn't make contact on the ball, though. It looks like Grant's going to be a nice little shot up. It looks like no one's there. Once again, a 2-0 lead for the Dragons.
Yeah, 2-0 lead. Going to be going early here as we see Northern Lights trying to figure out how they want to handle this one. And Grant just hits the ball in the net, and Stewie missed the redirect, and just kind of catching Northern Lights off early. And again, if you're Northern Lights, you're trying to prep for this one. You get a lot of practice in, kind of get your game plan in. And then it's been 40 seconds, and you've been scored on twice.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit deflating, but so many games to play still yet. There's a lot of mistakes that you can correct yourself on. And game 1, nothing to, hurt yourself over too bad.
So we see a chance here. Marty throwing this one down. We see almost 3 people going from Dragons here. And actually, Blasky and Stewie going to be taking each other out. Leffy missing the ball. Does Grant want to hit the ball? Does anyone want to hit the ball? Grant getting bumped off. This is one thing, too, we didn't talk about. This is going to be a very, very physical series between these two teams.
Yeah, I mean, like we had seen before in the stats, about 6.5 demos per game from both teams. That is a crazy amount, to be honest. I mean, I don't get 1 or 2. Like, oh, wow, Marty taking the words out of my mouth there. Did a fantastic job tossing that one up in the air.
Yeah, we're seeing finally a good comeback goal here, and I think this is huge for Northern Lights, right? Just to make sure it doesn't snowball too early. Like, yes, it is game 1. You have some games to play with, right? But it's elimination. These guys are very, very nervous. There is so much on the line here. So I think you guys expect you to make a lot of mistakes here between these two teams. It really is who plays the most calm, collected, and who is not going to be making those mistakes. As Stewie looking to take it all himself here. But I think as the game settles down, we will exactly settle into the series and hopefully see some good rotations here.
Marty with an opportunity to pass down to Blasky here, but Grant slipping it away just in time. Now back on offense for the Dragons here. Gonna go for a nice 50 to keep this one in the corner. Tries to get a nice little shot off there. Marty kicking it away over to the corner once again. Now passing this over to Blasky, who gets a nice touch over to the Dragons half here. Good response, and I like the spacing so far between both teams. I mean, they're really not giving anything too crazy up, other than some minor mispositions that have happened in the first 30 seconds of the game, of course. but nonetheless, still a very close game, and only half of it has passed.
So we see a chance here. Marty trying to figure out, just going to be throwing this one away again. He doesn't have a lot of boost. Blasky now going to be throwing it. As Marty's there, can he get a redirect? He's going to be going a little on target, but Grant, plenty of time to swat that one away. Stewie now going for a solo play. He's got plenty of boost to work with. Does anyone from Northern Lights challenge early, but doesn't find the flip reset? You know you wanted to see it there. Northern Lights now with a chance here. Blasky and Leffy both going for this one. You don't want to see the double commits. Grant now trying to get a good touch mid, but Stewie now going for a solo play. Can he go for a 50? Up and over one, up for corner, but the post is going to get it out. Toes again trying to get a 50 now, and somehow Dragons do not put a third one to the back of the net.
That was such a scary opportunity for the Dragons there. Toes even followed that up with that one up there and just was not able to find the back of the net. And we're seeing, you know, now the Northern Lights making a little bit of space for themselves here, getting back over to the Dragons half as the ball just slowly goes back and forth. I mean, this has kind of been back and forth for most of the game. They're giving themselves a lot of space in the midfield, which is very interesting to see so far. And, you know, the demos have been absolutely rampage like we see there. Blasky going down.
Ooh, Togs is awkward. I thought for sure Leffy was going to jump for that one, but sometimes you just can't expect the last defender to miss a ball like that. But sometimes you want to give him space. It doesn't work out well. Grant now going for his whole pick. Can he find the upper corner? Leffy at the last second slotting that one. Stewie now missing that one. Is anyone there to follow up? And somehow Northern Lights have not been scored on again. But as far as offensive pressure, Northern Lights really haven't had much these last 2 minutes of gameplay. Yeah,
this is where we see, you know, those stats coming into play. Northern Lights getting a lot of saves per game. And, you know, really making sure that they're not having anything too scary getting to the back of their net. Nice shot coming out from Marty there, but it looks like it got cleared away. Another one coming out, a nice shot there. The redirect comes out, not enough to clear. Blasky tying up the game.
Yeah, that is not what you expected to see. You see the players on Dragons kind of looking at each other, trying to figure out, hey, I thought I had that, you had that. Because Grant absolutely had that save. Stewie coming across, maybe he didn't get called off in time, but that is going to pretty much go down as an own goal there. A very, very savable mistake, but Northern Lights, they aren't going to complain again. This is a tie game, and I don't want to say it's been a little bit of a rough one, but we haven't really seen the typical play coming out of the Dragons. Their pure aggression, their demos, their disruption, because typically Dragons are just pounding shot after shot after shot, and we haven't seen that yet in Game 1.
Yeah, you know, they're really just making sure that they're, you know, trying to find each other's capitalization on mistakes there, and, you know, both teams are having a fair amount right now, but when it comes down to the wire and they, you know, start to get rid of those mistakes, it's really going to come down to how creative can you get here. Another nice shot coming out from Blasky. Leffy just holding that back line and clearing the way.
Yeah, Leffy with a shot. Grant, that is not the touch he wanted here. Didn't have any boost, and Blasky's just barely eking that one in under Togs and around Stewie, who again did not have much boost either. And Northern Lights, I think surprisingly in the lead, we saw Dragons go up 2 after 42 seconds. And Northern Lights now with 3 unanswered goals, very well-earned goals, and now 40 seconds away from taking Game 1 and almost stealing it from Dragons.
Yeah, they're doing a fantastic job of just really pounding the boards, and now Dragons trying to find another opportunity here. Another backboard shot coming out, though. It's just going to go crossbar and out to the corner. And now Northern Lights taking possession of this ball in the midfield. Leffy getting a nice 50, but Toes clears it away. A little bit of boost to work with here. He looks for a pass over towards mid here, getting a pass one, but Marty's going to follow this one up. A nice 50 coming up, but Marty absolutely dominating that 50 there.
Yeah, we see a shot, and that is Marty. That is going to be most likely icing Game 1 here, as we see Marty again just doing it all himself here, throwing it to the corner. Grant not able to get back. He had a dodge demo from Blask, which made it incredibly awkward, and then Marty just slotting that one so pretty. And so, again, 4 unanswered goals for Northern Lights, again, looking to just get Game 1 of the books.
Yeah, they're doing a fantastic job of just hitting their placement shots, to be quite honest. That's such a tough shot to read and an even harder shot to hit. And it looks like they might even go for a little bit of a consolation goal here. Marty just sealing the deal here in the last 2 seconds.
Yeah, it's all smiles on the side of Northern Lights. Sometimes the kickoffs just go your way. And Stewie, you thought he could maybe get back to it. He did get the initial save, but Marty going to be there to get the recovery bounce. Very, very, very favorable bounce for Northern Lights. But again, Game 1 obviously chalked in the books, and Dragons now 5 unanswered goals.
Yeah, and I mean, Dragons, they had scored their 2 initial goals in, the first 30 seconds, I believe, and now having a hard time, finding the back of the net.
Wow, I'm looking at the stats here. And Marty putting up a ton here, Stewie putting up a ton. And Toes very, very quiet. I see they're working on some stuff on their side, so hopefully no issues there. We'll let you guys know if there's any issues on our end. But as far as that, I think Northern Lights, they let Marty cook. That's the biggest thing. They gave Marty a lot of space. We didn't see the natural aggression from Dragons that we typically expect. And so if you're Dragons, is there any panic, or do you just say, hey guys, we're settling in, it's fine, 5 goals, it doesn't matter, let's just wipe it from our memory and go next for the number 1 seed for a reason?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, Toes hitting at 96 points and Stewie hitting 51 touches in this game, which is an absurd amount, we've seen Stewie kind of take control there on defense, and maybe that had caused a little bit of a goal there on Grant and Stewie's part. But, making sure that you guys are communicating with your team is going to be, the pinnacle of this game, of course, and getting those passes off. And I know that they can have that ability to, get those quick passes off, but really shutting down Marty is going to be what your biggest concern is, at least on defense, just because, picking up a hat trick in game 1 as well as 7 shots is crazy.
Yeah, as we see, again, slowly ticking down here. Looks like we hopefully solved some of our tech issues. Again, we were just going to assume so. But, looking at the goals here, obviously, Marty and Blasky, they're putting up 5 goals. And, again, one thing we have to talk about, yes, Dragons did get 2 goals, but, again, it was in the first 40 seconds. Sometimes it's almost opposite of garbage goals, right? Like, garbage times last, 20 seconds, 30 seconds, when a lot of goals doesn't matter. First 30 seconds, teams are just trying to figure out how to play in this lobby and giving up goals sometimes. Like, yep, that's just talk. And that's another one. Leffy now benefacting in this one as we see just kind of a cluster here. Blasky going, Stewie going. Blasky now catching out Grant, getting a dunk, and Stewie again double committing on the goal. And that's the second time Stewie and Grant have double committed. That is instantly given up a goal.
Yeah, and the clears that they're giving off too are just not enough to get this ball out from the back of their net. I mean, they're clearing out to the midfield, or they're clearing in the front of another player from the Northern Lights. It's just not working out so far.
Blasky now trying to get a good center. Gets it up and over one. Little cute pinch pass. And Leffy just there. And what a fantastic touch from Blasky. I'm honestly a little surprised he got such a good touch here, but just barely getting a pop over toes. And honestly, Grant flying in, he just barely missed that one. And Northern Lights, again, what's really funny, so this is the exact same score at 4:43. Dragons was up 2-0 now. The question is, do Dragons get 5 in a row?
Yeah, does Northern Lights get shut out for the remainder of the 4 minutes and 43 seconds here? Or do we see the Dragons, potentially get a 5-goal lead here and just start absolutely demolishing?
Ooh, as we see a touch here, it's going to be a little bit awkward, trying to figure out how they want to handle that one. Marty now going for a good touch. As he got no boost to follow, though. Grant now getting instantly demoed or dunked. Do we see Leffy going for a shot? It is high, but Tokes and Stewie again double commits from Dragons. I'm surprised the comms or rotations just aren't cleaner right now. I think a lot of it is you got to chalk it up to landers. When is the last time Tokes has played on LAN? We see Grant and Stewie. They've played a lot. They've played together a ton, but Tokes is a little more new to this.
A lot of physical aggression coming up from the Northern Lights here. They have the net wide open. Looks like Stewie was managing to get back just in time here, taking possession of the ball in the corner here, getting a nice flick over one. He still has possession of the ball here. Marty taking this one into the corner, though. He's going to leave this one for him. It looks like Stewie might have DC'd there.
All right, looks like we're going to be going for a little bit of a tech pause here. Looks like one of the players, Togs, might have some PC issues, so hopefully we will get that fixed as fast as possible. World, you want to just send it to us, send it to our cute little faces until we can get this figured out, and hopefully we'll get it done as soon as possible. But again, I think it's really interesting, or a time on screen that works too. I think it's really interesting just kind of looking at this. It's like Northern Lights, again, they go down 2-0 first game one, right? 5 unanswered goals, and they're on 7 unanswered goals if you want to continue that one. And Dragons, I don't know if you just say, hey, my PC's, something's wrong right now, so we see like 5 people in the cams. Hopefully they can get that fixed, but it's just like, how much does that affect the mental of Togs and the Dragons? Because right now it's like, you're expecting to be kind of dominant as you have been all season. Yeah, you've lost 1 game all season, and now you're in the lower bracket. That's it. You go into this series saying, hey, we're on LAN, we got this, we're just going to make the lower bracket run. It is not looking pretty to start.
Yeah, I mean, the whole PC issue, there's not much you can do about that. I would not let that get into your head too much, but one thing that I really would try to iron out is at least these communication errors, because right now, Stewie and Grant, they're having a little bit of communication errors and just having those double commits here and there, and that's really going to affect, how you guys get your clears out into the corner. Have that situated early on, just because that's happened, 2-3 times here so far, and you definitely don't want something like that happen. At least, at this high caliber of gameplay. That's not something that you necessarily want here, but we're getting close to hopefully fixing up some of these issues here. It's been such a wild ride today. I was gonna see if you needed our turning division.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, sorry for the quick pause. We had some tech issues trying to figure out, what goals will stay and what won't. So, when we paused it, it was 2-0 to Northern Lights. We had some tech issues, so we're going to be nice. We ended up doing some rock, paper, scissors, and Dragons did win, so they did get to take a goal off the scoreboard there. Northern Lights will be up 1-0, and we will be restarting this game from scratch. There we go. Doesn't that look nice and pretty? So Northern Lights now. Last goal didn't count. Wasn't fast enough, sorry, so we had to take that one away. But Dragons, it looks like hopefully the PC issues are fixed, and they just need one single goal to get back into the series. Hopefully they can. Stewie now, that might be starting it, but Blasky with a great save out the goal line. So I think mental of Dragons right now, it's very much in the gutter, right? You're having issues, you're down, you're losing, you keep giving up goals. You might be giving up another one here. Can Lefty slot it? And Stewie does get a save, but Dragons, you gotta get some goal. Get some good momentum in your tank here.
Yeah, I was just talking about, during that timeout there, the PC issues, there's nothing you can really control. That's not really up to you. You can't really, I would not try to let that get inside of your head. Don't let that get into your mental, but, I would at least try to iron out some of these shots here and these double commits here that are essentially just causing some bad clears and giving up some goals that are, could be easily saved. But right now, Northern Lights pounding the back of the net here. A crazy save coming out from Dragons here, keeping it outside of the net here as we hit the 4-minute mark.
Ooh, Stewie, that's a great pass to Togs. Can Togs beat out Lefty? He does. Going to be going to the corner here. Blasky, they're going to have a pretty easy cleanup. We see Marty getting a great demo on Stewie just to cause some time here. A little bit of delay here. And as we get into this one, Lefty now throwing a shot on target, but pretty easily blocked away from Stewie. Stewie now getting a rip here. Good 50 from Marty. Marty on 0 moves, forced to go back. Lefty in a very, very awkward spot. Oh, Togs jump. He didn't expect the 50 to go that way. And Grant, again, pushed up a little too much a second, man. Northern Lights now, again, they have one goal, and we haven't seen anything left. That's going to be going out the crossbar. This is a wide open net. And we see an open net miss from Stewie. That's got to hurt the mental even more. It was there, and hopefully he can bounce back from that one. He might getting a clip, but it's so close. Dragons are destined to just not quite get that goal.
Gosh, they're absolutely getting cheated out right now, and Northern Lights are as well. They had some crazy shots going off the back of the net, and they were just going crossbar and down and out. It was absolutely crazy, and both of these teams are just so close to scoring goals, and they're just not able to convert. Another demo coming out here. Northern Lights have a great opportunity to push this ball here. Marty super high up here. Nice 50 coming out from Grant, though.
Stewie now going for this one. This is straight up and straight down. This can be a little awkward for the corner. Can Lefty make it pop around one? Oh, Togs in a great position. That is such good backcourt defense there. Dragons now, again, still on the back foot. We haven't really seen any goals after the one. Okay. And I say that, and Marty getting it upper corner there. Dragons just cannot find a break here.
Marty doing a fantastic job, resisting the urge to spin there. Honestly, I would have spun it. Spin to win, all right? It's to the day I die.
It is a spin to win, and that is 7, 8 goals unanswered. However you want to look. We'll take that off the board. We'll go 7 unanswered goals here for Northern Lights. As Lefty again can't quite find the touch here. Grant now a little awkward himself. You see always Blasky is always hunting your tail, so you just have to make sure you can avoid it, because I was going to say we haven't seen too many demo goals yet, but again, it is always lurking for both of these teams.
A little under 2 minutes left, or a little over 2 minutes left to go here. A crazy pinch coming out from Grant. That's going to go all the way to the opposite corner of Northern Lights there. Stewie taking possession of this one, trying to get a pass made. It looks like Marty and Blasky have that one cleared away. Blasky not able to get the touch in the corner here. Lefty's going to have to go, and that is 50 over from him into the corner, though. And now Marty with an absolute clanger. That's going to cause some issues here for Dragons as they try to recoup back on defense. Lefty going for a pass mid. Nice clear coming out from 2 people here on the Dragons side as it gets cleared away.
Stewie got past 2, gets past 3. It's an open shot. Toes with a ripper, and that is going to cut the lead in half. Dragons finally breaking the streak here from Northern Lights' unanswered goals.
Yeah, Stewie with a great pass there to get past Blasky as well over to Togs, and Lefty just caught in the middle of the net there. Not too much you can do from Lefty there, and doing a fantastic job of answering some of these unanswered goals like you had said. Exactly,
breaking the streak here, and again, cutting the lead in half. And Northern Lights, again, after going up 2-0, we had a little restart, and they got 1 goal. So as far as since the restart, it has been 1-1, but Dragons severely much more on the back foot. This net is wide open. Can Marty find the touch? Maybe a double tap, but not quite enough boost to get around this one. Grant now going to be a little awkward. Giving this off to Stewie maybe, and Stewie now to Grant. Grant has no boost to follow this one. Lefty now going to be putting that on target. Togs, though, back with plenty of time. Marty now taking his touch here. Gets a great touch to Blasky with a rip on target, but Stewie, an even better save to Grant. What good recovery from the Dragons.
Yeah, these guys are doing a fantastic job on defense, but Blasky now jumps super up high. Stewie, once again, with a great clear and great read here on Lefty as well as he gets this ball thrown back over to the Northern Lights half. 1 minute left to go, though. They need to kick it in gear back on offense if they need to stay in this game, too. Grant trying to do this for his team here as it gets cleared away. Stewie right back at it, and it looks like we will see a match.
There we go. The Dragons finally tying it up here. Grant with a great touch, and Blasky, not the touch he was looking for. Obviously, he gets it past Grant, but Stewie just lurking. And honestly, just a little bit of a miscommunication from Northern Lights on how they wanted to handle that one. But Dragons have earned their way back into this game here, tying it up here. Again, we've got about a minute and a half left, so there's plenty of time to do it. So Dragons, again, finally starting to benefit from the speed of their rotations.
Stewie doing a fantastic job of just getting around defenders and Northern Lights players there. Togs with a great sneak attack there. I did not expect him to get that angle, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah, that's all it takes. And we talked about Northern Lights. You know, they had so many unanswered goals, and now Dragons with 3 of their own in very, very quick succession, you know, about 10, 15 seconds in between. So now with under a minute left, Dragons now in the driver's seat to finish off game 1 and tie up this series.
Yeah, it seems, you know, Dragons are kind of having a little bit of a routine here. You know, they get their very, very early goals, and then they get them very quick, and then they can just hold off on defense for the remainder of the game. And they do a fantastic job on defense. Stewie has been such a great asset on defense so far. Grant has to get this nice clear, though. He does. It goes off the backboard. Lefty jumps up for the ball here. Togs not able to read the ball. Marty now taking it into the corner with Stewie. Stewie's going to take possession here, but Blasky trying to play some nice shadow defense on him. Gets cleared away back over to midfield. Lefty takes it back over into the corner from the Dragons. And some scary plays coming out from the corner here. They have an opportunity
that's a great bump.
Oh my gosh, the bump was very deadly there.
Blasky did not have enough boost, but that net is actually open for a split second. Stewie is back there. The Dragons playing with fire a little bit, which usually they're the ones burning everyone else here, but now Northern Lights, they need to have something here. Blasky is the last man back. Grant gets a great touch here. Marty now trying to go quickly here as we see a 1 second on the clock. Now 0. This ball has to stay up. Blasky, it's up, but it's going the other way. That's going to be going out the crossbars. Anyone there for Dragons? Is Stewie probably going to be ripping this one on target? He does not, but Dragons, either way, after all the adversity they just had going into game 2 here, they do come away with the win.
Yeah, it was definitely a scary thing, you know, seeing, especially, you know, after the whole tech timeout, you know, we were imagining that their mentals were really down in the gutters there, but they really came back and shown what they were doing. But Marty with 62 touches.
Excuse me, you want to look at Mr. Stewie dropping 1,000 points here? He's got 9 saves.
What?
That is ridiculous. Look at the shots of Northern Lights, right? It's going to say these boys are out here with 17 shots. That is ridiculous. And Stewie with 9 of those saves, dropping 1,000 points. So Dragons, again, they survived immaculately on defense. And a lot of it was Stewie's rotation, just getting back, survive. And they did find their 3 goals in pretty quick succession. So we talked about how does Dragons answer. I'd say that's a pretty good way to answer.
It is not every day that you pick up a triple savior medal, by the way. Oh my gosh. Yeah, these guys are doing a fantastic job. Stewie being a pinnacle on defense and, you know, really just able to find those quick, easy shots going off. I mean, they had some crazy passes off the corner. Stewie had a really good shot off the back wall, and, you know, Togs was able to pick it up there. And now they're able to, you know, mesh a little bit more. We saw Togs having a reasonably low amount of points in the first game, and now he's really picked it up here.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see then again after this. We saw it so heavily in favor of Northern Lights in game 1 and game 2. Again, Northern Lights got their first 2 goals very, very quickly, and then Dragons ended up running it back here. So we will see how these teams are going to answer, because now this is where it starts to get interesting, right? They've been on stage for a couple games, right? They're getting a little more relaxed. Now it's basically a best of 5. So who is going to, you know, get the clip? Who's going to get the momentum? We hear both teams popping off quite a bit. I would love to see people start trying to scream like Shavin here as Marty getting the goal here. Northern Lights, they love to score in the first 30 seconds.
Yeah, these guys are doing such a great job of making sure that they get those nice early shots off. And what a great touch coming out from Marty. Togs was just caught a little bit off guard there. And yep, once again, a 15-second goal. It's just another Tuesday for these guys.
So we see an early, like you said, it's a Tuesday for them. Northern Lights, they just love to be scoring early here. Dragons now, again, they've been down before in games 1 and 2, actually. We'll see how they counter in this one. Leffy now, a little bit of awkward touch here. This is a 1v1 for a split second. Blasky trying to race back. It does go upper corner, but we see a great save. Grant now trying to follow up on this one. Gets a shot off the backboard. Who is there? Stewie just a little bit too far back. Togs now. Blasky. Actually, can he find a touch? But again, 0 boost. We're seeing Dragons and Northern Lights look for really good passing plays, but the receiving partner just doesn't quite have a lot of boost. And Marty gonna be the benefactor as he just has to lob that one up and just no one back. Toes got beat and no one else there to support him.
Yeah, that was a really, really early challenge coming up from Marty, and I believe he was a third man there. So, you know, honestly, a little bit of a risky play, but it worked out in his favor.
I see Marty just give a little shoulder shrug, just like, yeah, I mean, we'll take it. I don't know why it worked, but it did. So Northern Lights very happy to be 2-0 in the series. 2-0 in the game here. And as we saw last time, Northern Lights again scored 2 goals very early, and then Dragons put 3 in a row. So I don't know if they just want to keep following the same script over and over, but I mean, I'm here for it for a bit.
Stu with a great clear here to get over Blasky. Now in a 1v1 situation with Toads and Marty. Trying to get a nice pass over to mid. Doesn't happen though. Grant's not going to make contact on the ball. Stewie follows it up. Now Blasky throws this one off the ceiling with Leffy. Stewie now trying to play some nice shadow defense here. Leffy trying to read this. It would be very interesting. And now a nice pinch coming out here to get this ball cleared away.
No
It looks like he might have gotten caught out. Blasky not able to get back in time.
That cuts the lead in half. And sometimes just some awkwardness works here. You see Grant over to Togs, and Togs he barely got it past Marty. Blasky was expecting a 50 in that situation. It got past Marty, and he goes, oh crap, is that in? And we see it just trickle all the way into the corner. So Dragons, they did not take long to answer.
Yeah, and you know, like you had mentioned earlier, are we going to follow the same script the whole time? I mean,
we're on track to at this point.
It's looking like it so far.
We see Marty now getting a good 50 round 1. Stewie, not the best touch. Does have a decent amount of boost of ball. Actually beats out 2. Surprising, Leffy and Marty ended up double committing that one. This is me going off the corner. Grant now with a great rip. He finds the touch, but it's off the post. We thought that was going to be in there. We're seeing, again, such great opportunities, but just so close from the side of Northern Lights and Dragons here. Marty now with a good 50 on Stewie. It's interesting that both teams are doing a pretty good job of having those early challenges, which we saw a lot out of the Dons who played earlier for Div A, and just to kind of see how much, you know, does good rotation versus just sheer aggression benefit these two teams.
We see Grant in the corner here. A little bit of boost to work with, but Leffy with a great read to keep this ball back on the Dragons' half here. Stewie takes it up off the wall. Centered mid, though. A little bit scary. Marty going for a 50, and he gets cleared back into the corner for the Dragons. Blasky going for another mid pass here. He finds Marty. Another 50 coming out, and Stewie clears it back into the corner.
Leffy now is going to go off the ceiling. Everyone there. Togs now just going to rip a worm burner right to Blasky. Marty calls him off on this one. Can he go for a solo play off the ceiling? He does have a flip, but what a great touch by Grant. You know Marty was going to put that one to the back of the net, and you would have heard them screaming from the heavens here. Blasky now with another ripper again. This is going to be floating all the way across Leffy, trying to figure out how he wants to get this one mid. And they're just kind of playing boomer ball back and forth, waiting for Northern Lights to actually take a shot on target. And Togs now ripping one on target. And again, it's the exact same thing.
Are you guys scripting this? There's no way. Togs with a great shot there. Blasky, 0 boost, nothing you can do
It's
there.
the same thing. Togs has a long shot all the way down and it trickles in. Blasky gets beat out as the third man. Somehow Dragons just seem to find the back of the net. And again, they now have 2 unanswered goals. So we're going to wait a minute and then Dragons is going to score. We're running it back from game 2.
Nice little solo play coming out from Marty here. He had the flip. Oh my
God, Marty throwing the script away. My man is going up and peeking on LAN, getting the reset, faking out one here, and then Stewie, he just has to drop and pray and hope he can get a touch. Marty, that is a statement goal saying, no, we are not running it back. We are taking the lead in the series.
Oh my gosh, a crazy shot coming out there. That has to feel really, really good going into this game 3 here. And it looks like they might pick up another one. Leffy just playing that great second man off the kickoff.
Northern Lights, great kickoff. Stewie again as second man. There's not really much he can do. Grant trying to go for a squishy save. And Leffy just says, hey, if they're both going to go for a squishy, at one point the bottom of the net is going to be open. And he needed exactly that. So Northern Lights, again, we're kind of going back and forth, but Northern Lights seem to somehow just find these goals out of nowhere like that. So now Northern Lights, again, with 2 minutes left, they're up 2-0, looking to be up 2-1 in the series if it goes their way.
Yeah, and in very quick succession as well. They've been getting these shots off very, very quickly off kickoffs and, back-to-back goals. They're really fast.
Ooh, that's a great drop down from Stewie. Togs trying to go for the double. We saw all 3 players from Northern Lights going for that one. Blasky now ripping this one. Is this going to go all the way down? Stewie barely able to get back. Gets a great touch off the back when we see demos happen from Marty. Can Marty get a touch? Togs not going to rip it to Blasky. It's going to be going off the ceiling. Can he get this touch? It does drop, and he gets it off his butt. Dropping it down. He almost had the double tap. Now Togs, again, try to play a little bit of boomer ball. I would love to see Dragons maybe take a close touch instead of always throwing it away, because a lot of times they just don't have boost to follow up a booming clear.
Oh, we see a shot opportunity there coming up from Grant. Grant not making contact. Marty with a great clear.
Is that open?
That's demo
okay,
there.
Stewie's back.
Stewie getting back just in time.
And I was worried there for a second. Leffy, can he find the sidewall touch? He does get one. It pops right to Marty. Grant is there. Marty actually ends up goombooing Leffy on accident. Stewie now going for a sidewall read. Marty has to respect this one. Stewie and Marty, again, this seems to be such a duo going back and forth, trying to just outmaneuver each other. And there's so many 50s they take that are so even every time. But so far, Northern Lights seem to be just a benefactor of these crazy, pinches and clears.
Yeah, under a minute left to go as well. 2 goals down, you really need to start kicking it in gear on offense. And it seems to be the Dragons, like you kind of mentioned earlier, they're booming it downfield, and you're not really taking any close challenges. And that's leading to, low amounts of boost when you go on offense, and they really have to just kind of go with what the punches are at. And it's not really working so far in their favor here on offense.
Lasky now touching this one to the corner. Stewie trying to get this one mid. He pops it over one. It drops down. The net is wide open. It's just waiting there through the smoke, and out of nowhere comes Marty with 0 boost. Just barely able to eke by, and that just about is going to ice this game. They need a pinch goal or some miracle. With 14 seconds left, Northern Lights are looking very, very good here in this series now.
Stewie trying to go for a little bit of a solo play to get this one in the back of the net. Marty with a great clear. Grant being the last man back. Down to 5 seconds. It's looking thinner and thinner for this guys as the clock hits 0.
Oh, Marty trying to come off the ceiling. Get a little garbage time goal here. But Northern Lights, again, they just seem to find goals. Going up 2-0 in the series. And Dragons, your number 1 seed, are 2 games away from being eliminated.
Yeah, and honestly, a really close game going into that one. Still, Stewie with 7 saves going into that. He's been such
You're telling me two games?
Podium on defense.
2 games, 18 saves. That is ridiculous. But one of the things is, it's unsustainable, right? So you got scored on 4 times, and you still had 7 saves. The Dragons need to get out of their half, and I think a lot of it is they're getting these booming clears, but they're not having the boost to follow up, so then it just gets boomed right back to them, hence why they're getting so many saves. So we'll see if we see any timeout, trying to figure out how Dragons want to play here. Like I said, I would love to see him maybe take a touch a little bit, try to get in something. I don't want to say, go for demos, but just we haven't seen the aggressive disruption and demo plays from Dragons, which I know they used in the past. They've tried to veer away from it a little bit going into kind of the later matches here in playoffs, but you might have to be forced to go back to your bread and butter if it continues to go Northern Lights' way.
Yeah, absolutely. When they're hitting shots in the 15 numbers, that's a lot of shots to try to save against. And honestly, the best defense is a great offense at this point. You really just got to go back to like what you had said, back to the bread and butter, and just go for some closer challenges, get some nice 50s off on the midfield, and maybe even some nice cherry picking passing plays, things of that nature to go get this ball back on offense. Because once you guys are on offense, you guys convert very, very well. You guys get some very fast and quick shots off. You're just having a little bit of a hard time with this defense right now.
Marty trying to go for maybe a little bit of a turbo flick here. We did not see a goal in the first 10 seconds. Surprisingly, maybe we'll see one in the first 20 here. Lefty now getting a fake around 1. Grant just had to throw himself at that one with 0 boost. Stewie and Tokes, a little bit of an awkward, not a double commit, but good job for Tokes to call him off on that one. We don't want to see any team pinches going in their own net here. Grant now throws one outside ball. Lefty does get beat, but Lasky right there to follow up. And that's one of the differences. Northern Lights always has that second man so close to follow up for a challenger for any touch available.
No demo coming out here. Looks like miscommunication coming out there. No touch is going to happen midfield. Blast is going to have a lot of possession to work with. The demo comes out as well. Stewie pushes up, goes for a shot on, but Marty plays deep.
I love that Marty popped that up, just wasting so much time. By doing that, it buys his teammates so much time to get boost, get rotation, make sure they're in the best spot. If Marty just boomed that away, his teammates would go, oh crap, the ball's coming right back at us. So good job for Northern Lights to slow it down when they need to allow them to get into a better position. I want to see Dragons, I talked about it earlier, go for some slower plays, buy time for your teammates. I would love to see that. And then once you get boost, go for fast rotations and have that person on offense be able to support your first man. Because as third man, you're sitting on defense so much like Dragons seems to be doing. Again, Stewie's putting up 18 saves. You got to get some offense going here.
Absolutely, yeah. And the first minute has passed and no shots have been scored just yet. A little bit of a first coming out from this game here. And as we hit game 4 now, but 3:30 left to go. We're seeing a little bit of offensive pressure coming up from the Dragons. A nice pass coming out from Stewie and Grant. Nice backfoot defense coming up from Lefty. He's dry though as it gets stolen there. They're going to try to keep this offensive pressure going.
Ooh, Marty getting a great touch to the corner. That's going to bounce up to Grant. Can he get a touch mid? He does. Stewie and Toads were both there. Unfortunately, neither one of them able to get a pass going there. As we see misses both out of Northern Lights from Lefty and from Marty. A little bit of awkward touches here, but we see a good early challenge from Stewie. Lasky now going to be throwing this one downfield. Grant off the wall. Does he have the boost to challenge? Stewie going to be going early. We see demos on the third man there for just a split second. The net was open. If Lefty gets this pop, Stewie's going to be in a little bit of a tough spot here, trying to figure out how they want to find so many 50s, because Northern Lights is looking to 50 every single ball on the field.
Back in the Dragons half here, Stewie takes the ball. Nice contest coming up from Lefty, but Stewie gets right past him now. Lasky being the last man back. He gets it thrown into the corner. Grant takes the possession here, but Leffy manages to rotate back just in time and get a nice passing clear as well as a demo there. Looks like Stewie playing great middleman. I love the amount of middle pressure that they're showing now. You know, they're really trying to push their second and third man up just a little bit further, try to keep that pressure going, but a crazy pinch comes out. What the heck?
Marty taking matters in his own hands. So you just don't expect that. You know, it goes off the ceiling. He's going for a 50 here, and it just 50s perfectly. And Stewie didn't expect a pinch like that, right? When you expect a 50, he wants to follow up. It just went through Togs' car, and the worm burners sometimes work. Northern Lights, again, they just seem to find the back of the net off just some weird interactions. Blasky now looking to get a kickoff goal, which he does. Northern Lights, I don't think they've scored a goal without scoring again like 10 seconds later.
I don't think so, no. I think you're right, exactly. And, you know, like you were mentioning, like, it's so hard to read something like that if you're Stewie or Togs there in that situation. Of course, you're going to go for the 50, but how can you imagine it worm burning and going right into the corner of your net?
I will say Northern Lights looking very, very well. Our frames are not, but Leffy going to be going for a touch here. Stewie now getting a great touch to buy a little bit of time for his teammates. Now Grant now tossing this one mid. Leffy now, again, they're doing a good job. They're taking their time. They're not just booming it every single time for Northern Lights. Togs now getting one to the good corner. Blasky's awkward. This is going straight up, straight down. Can Stewie find the touch? We see demos, and the net is open, and that's what we've been looking for is the demo and a great conversion from Dragons.
That was a pure mechanical skill right there because he couldn't see the ball as soon as it, well, I guess you can in this clip here, but when we were watching the replay there, I couldn't see where the ball was going as soon as the cloud of smoke went up in the air, and I was just like, oh my gosh.
Oh, I love the little nice bump in chat. Yeah, Toes demoing Blasky or vice versa is just the two kings of the demo game going at it, and that one might be going up and down. Stewie misses the double. He had the read. I don't know if he was expecting the player from Northern Lights to miss that one, but either way, we see Dragons again. They do cut the lead in half here. The question is, can they keep going? Because again, if they lose this, they're on match point.
Absolutely, yeah. And then they did get a goal in a good amount of time. They still have a minute 30 to work with here. You know, a lot of time to find a little bit of a vulnerability in the Northern Lights defense here. But you know, if they can't get away from this Northern Lights offense, they're really going to struggle.
Marty now going for a solo play. Not the best first touch. He did not get the pop that he wanted here. Trying to go for a follow-up 50 here. Getting, again, just a little bit of disruption play from Stewie. So we see Leffy buying so much time. Time is against Dragons as this one is just floating. Grant is up. Can he slot it? He does. It's off the post and out. And Blasky, fortunately, does slot it away for Northern Lights. And that's going to go the other way, but Stewie is there back and forth. Neither team trying to give up an inch here on net.
Oh my gosh, it has been down to the wire so far. That ball is going to go down on the front line of Northern Lights, but a nice clear coming out from Marty. A pass over to Leffy as well. Now with 45 seconds left on the clock, they really need to keep this ball on the orange half here if they want to stay in this one. A nice pass coming out from Marty, or from Stewie here to Togs. But the ball is still stuck in the corner.
Yeah, we're seeing Dragons having a lot better chances here. They have really good opportunities here. They just can't quite find that final touch here versus Northern Lights with Marty. That might be going in. Can Grant get a touch? No, he cannot. Stewie has a decent amount of boost here. Trying to go for a 50 with Marty. This one does not pinch mid. Leffy now awkward in this one. He does get to the side, but Stewie does take his corner boost. Grant now that is also going in, and somehow every single 50 is going Northern Lights' way.
That is ridiculous. We even
That's
saw
tilting.
Marty a little bit awkward there in the corner. Leffy just throws his car at the ball, and I mean, that's just one of those Marty shrug moments. Like, it works. I don't know how it works.
It works. It doesn't make sense, but we're going to take it. So the question is, Dragons, right? I think one of the problems is this series is so mentally taxing because a lot of the goals that Dragons are giving up are just, okay, well, that's just stupid. Like a bounce, a 50, or just a clear like that. These are goals that you aren't expecting where you kind of think, well, that wasn't earned. That's stupid. We should be winning. So Dragons, I think they need to take this time out, clear everything from their memory, right? They are, in their opinion, obviously the better team. They can do it. We've seen teams absolutely win in the situation, but Dragons, you got to wake up.
Yeah, I mean, they're doing such a fantastic job, finding their passes, finding their teammates, and, getting those opportunities there. Whether they're on or just a little bit off the mark, off those crossbars, they're having them nonetheless. And, right now it's really just being chalked up to, things like 50s or, crazy pinches off the ceiling and down into the ground or something rather like that, or an absolute booming clear. It's really just coming down to, okay, do we need to have our third man be posted all the way back just in case and have our first two men, going for demos and things of that nature? Or, what do we need to do to really make sure that this team is put out of, like, you know, how do we extinguish the fire that they've got built up right now?
Yeah, we finally do see the talent from Dragons. So one thing that's interesting, right, I was looking back at the stats there, is we saw 4 shots from Northern Lights, right? We only saw, I think, like 2 saves from Stewie. So Dragons, they did a lot better rotations. They were a lot faster. They had really good ideas. They just couldn't find the touch. And honestly, just some weird 50s went in Northern Lights' way. You could very much argue that, yeah, Dragons, I think they deserved to win that one. They played a lot better. Rotations were fast. They had good passes. They were being a lot more challenging. They weren't giving up 15 shots plus from Northern Lights again. Dragons played very good that game. They really genuinely did. But again, sometimes the Rocket League gods just say, not happening. Every 50 is just going to go in your net. And those are the worst games mentally to lose, which I think this timeout is needed. The question is, how much of that can you clear going into this game? Because now they have triple match point going for Northern Lights.
Yeah, this is not looking too pretty so far. And we see a little bit of an kickoff opportunity here. Leffy not able to get the crossbar. Stewie got back just in time.
I don't understand that save. I thought for sure that was going to be a kickoff goal, but coming out of nowhere, the Dragons do say they want to. Stewie is diving back, but this one is going to be in and open, and Northern Lights right back where they started in the lead.
Oh my gosh, the amount of aggression coming out from Northern Lights, I mean, it's just, it's crazy. I mean, I just cannot believe that they're putting so many crazy shots so fast and so frequently.
As we see Northern Lights again, they love scoring 17 seconds in. That's like the 5th time this has happened this series, which is kind of ridiculous here. The question is, again, we talk about they like to score 1, they like to score 2. Are we going to expect Northern Lights to score in the next 20 seconds? Or do we see Dragons get a score? Possibly Dragons. I think they do need to score in the first 20 seconds to not mentally start to snowball in a bad way, especially after a timeout. You try to fix so many things, and 13 seconds later, 14 seconds later, Northern Lights take a goal again.
Yeah, you know, and when it comes down to, you know, making sure that you're taking good 50s, that's really when you want to lock in, especially just because you have to make sure that you're watching the ball and watching the player and watching where your car's at. It really is a time where you want to lock in, and now is no exception.
Oh, we see a little bit of an awkward triple commit coming out from Dragons. Now Stewie should have a good touch here. Actually gets a miss here. Marty now going for a solo play, but does not get the first touch here. And again, we're seeing some awkward misses from Dragons, but a lot of it, I think, has to do with nerves. You have triple match point. You guys, they do not want to be down and out here. Stewie is a reigning champ for DCRL here, and he is facing elimination right in front of our eyes.
Oh, 0 boost here. Goes for a little bit of a pass mid. Marty with a 50 on him. He gets cleared back over to the midfield here. Lefty's going to take possession. Try to go for a shot off. Stewie with a great read to clear that ball.
Grant now going for a 50. Gets under Blasky. Actually, it's over Marty. The net is wide open. Grant, can he find the touch? It does not go on target. Lefty gets the save, but still in the danger area. Marty now does get into safety for just a second here. We actually might see a counter as Grant. Does he get back in time? He does. But we see just how quick Northern Lights can counter and get goals out of almost sheer nothingness. Marty now, can he find a shot himself? It does go on target. Grant and Toes, they are forced to double commit in that situation here. Grant now forcing this one to the corner. Stewie now does get a double corner read, but doesn't quite get the touch he wants. And Northern Lights, they do kind of just be seen as sitting in the driver's seat here. Dragons not sure how they want to handle the pressure, but I think a lot of it, again, is just awkwardness. They aren't getting the bounces to go their way.
Another opportunity here coming up from the Dragons. 50 goes out. Blasky now Marty kicking it into the corner here. Toes is going to go for a read on this corner here, but it gets thrown back off to the backboard. Grant's going to go for a shot. 50 away by Blasky. Stewie jumps up, and Stewie knocks it back.
Finally, see Dragons getting on the board here just under halfway through this game here. We see Grant with a whiff, and Marty and Blasky, they had to respect that there, but Stewie says, hey, good, you take both of them out, I'll get the easy slot here. So Dragons, again, they did not take super long to get back into this game. Again, mentally, they say, guys, we got this, it's tied, throw any other of the games out, we are winning this one, we are winning the series.
Yeah, still 3 minutes left to go in this one, too. There's a lot of time to, you know, really hone in on these skills here. Lefty going for a crazy shot there, nice save coming out from Grant, and now Stewie with a great outlet opportunity here. Into the corner, get 50'd away by Marty, but Toes is able to follow this one up. And I think opportunity coming out from Grant. Blasky out there just in time to clear this one away.
We're seeing Dragons do a much better job of having that second person always posted, ready for an initial attack here. Marty going to be throwing it just a little off wide, but Dragons, they've woken up as far as having their second man and third man ready to pounce, which is needed with how many times Northern Lights is giving up just a little bit of space to the first man of Dragons, as we saw there for a second. Marty now trying to hunt demos on the back line. We've seen it very effective in the past off the backboard, and no one is there. Stewie at the last second going for this one. Grant out to Toads. Can Toads find a rip? That is a great, again, passing opportunity from Dragons, and Stewie trying to find a rip. The Dragons, they have so many good opportunities and great ideas. Again, Northern Lights always just gets the tip of their car on the ball.
Yeah, they're doing a fantastic job finding each other like we had said. And you know what really is going to come down on defense so far for the Northern Lights and the Dragons, especially on defense, is making sure that you can get back in time, because just they're being a lot more aggressive here, as we see Toes and some demos here and showing a lot more physical aggression. But we have to make sure that we're getting back in time, because like you had said, there are so many opportunities for the Northern Lights to just have some crazy fast counterattacks, and we have to make sure that they can not just have these shots out of thin air.
1 minute left and 20 seconds. A little bit of change here as Northern Lights going to be on the defensive half here. Stewie trying to go for a double. It's going to be going out the backboard. Lefty not able to find the touch. Stewie not able to get the read either. Grant now going to leave this one for Togs. Blasky going to be getting into round 1. Trying to find another 50. He does. Surprisingly, the 50 just doesn't go instantly in Dragon's net. Marty now taking 50 with Grant. It's going to be going on the sideball. Who is going to get to that ball first? We see Lefty a little slow. It's off the crossbar. Can Blasky get a 50? And he does. And again, Dragons, the Rocket League guys are smiting them here today.
And not having any favors at all, hitting the crossbar after crossbar again, and now we see under a minute left to go, backing now into the Dragons' corner. Lefty jumping up for this ball in the midfield, passing over to Blasky, but Stewie beats them both with this ball here. Now Stewie's trying to keep this pressure up for the Dragons. Takes the corner boost here. Now Grant coming out with a 50. Stewie with a nice counterattack. Marty with a good 50 as well, though.
Oh,
now
Lefty
Toes,
has no boost.
Good opportunity here. Down into the corner, Marty with a nice clear.
Yeah, Marty had to dive into that one. Lefty, we saw it coming. Everyone in the crowd was just like, oh, Lefty's not getting to that one. Marty at the last second coming through here. Blasky better be putting that one far, because you saw Grant was sniffing him. Blasky now, this one might be on target. Grant and Stewie again with the double commit here. Can Lefty get anything mid? It does. Marty's up for this one, trying to find a touch. He gets it low. Grant's awkward, but he does get a touch out with 10 seconds left. Overtime is looming. We are in golden goal territory. Stewie now trying to go for a solo play, but it's going the other way. Marty now gets it around 1. Can he find a touch? We see misses, and that's going in. Blasky with 2 seconds left takes the lead for Northern Lights.
I cannot believe, off the ceiling.
Where did this man come from when they needed him most? Doesn't even want to touch overtime. Northern Lights are 2 seconds away from taking this game and dropping Dragons, the #1 seed, out of the tournament. This ball just has to hit 0, and that is going to be it. Northern Lights taking it. What an unbelievable series, knocking out the #1 seed. And I was going to say, I thought Dragons were going to win 4-1. Northern Lights, utter domination here in the series.
And they really, really showed up for this game. And, that just goes to show that stats do not matter whatsoever in this game. And, I cannot believe the amount of shots that Northern Lights had put up. In this game, not so much. We see 9 shots coming in from the Northern Lights. But we had seen a 15-shot game from the Northern Lights, and that is absolutely insane. And still, once again, we see so many shots coming out from now the Dragons, but they're just caught up on the amount of offensive pressure from the Northern Lights. It's absolutely crazy.
Yeah, honestly, a crazy thing is the fact that Northern Lights again now won 3 best of 7s. They are technically halfway as far as the winning best of 7s in a row to winning this entire thing. They do have a long way to go, and I know me personally, I want to get some of these guys on the mics here. So we're gonna go to a quick little break and snag one of the winners and talk to them and see how they took down the mighty Dragons. Maybe not. It's fine.
We'll switch whenever you guys
Fine,
are ready.
it's fine.
We'll switch. ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. And I'm here with the man, the myth, the legend, the guy that scored in, what was it, 2 seconds?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. And what a nail-biter of a series. Well, I mean, I guess in my perspective, because that was just such a close game all around. There were so many shots going off. It was so crazy. Both teams were hitting the crossbar left and right. And you guys just couldn't seem to find the back. Oh, we're going to go for a little. We're back. You guys just couldn't seem to find the back of the net. And, you know, neither could the Dragons. Eventually, you guys really had the amount of physical aggression to just really get in there. What was kind of going through you guys' heads, you know, seeing the #1 seed?
So our biggest issue with playing this season has been just not being aggressive enough, being passive, not deciding. And we went into this game saying, if you comment, you just want to go for it, just go. Like, don't care what your teammates say. Like, if they call you off, just go. Closer. And then, so we just did that a lot, and that resulted in a lot of 50 goals, just a lot more pressure than we normally have.
Well, I mean, when you have a team, you know, like Marty, who is just absolutely mech'd out of his mind, and you know, the demo master of DCRL, of course, you know, I think you guys have 7 goals or 7 demos per game, which is absolutely crazy. And you know, that was a really fun series to watch.
Oh yeah. I've been trying to demo a little bit less this season, just because it is normally my reputation, but I want to change it up to get some goals. I'm like right outside the top 5 goals per game right now. I don't know if it changes for playoffs, but that's something I'm a little bit more proud of than I was last season, being at like bottom 3. So it's been a step up for me.
Absolutely, yeah. Well, you guys have just taken out the Dragons, the #1 seed, and you guys will go on to fight Rank Disparity now. So what is going to be the game plan going into something like that?
Do we face Rank Disparity, or is it the Dons?
The Dons, I apologize.
No, you're good. I got to sit back and watch the Dons play, and they're really good, and they're really consistent. All 3 of their players are just like, they're like almost the same level, it feels like, when I watch them. So it's going to be a little different than playing against some of these other teams where like you have a cracked out captain like Renzik. It's a little different. So between the losers finals and grand finals, it's going to be a little different. I don't really want to leak what we're going to be doing, but we are game planning for it.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, if I were in your guys' shoes, you know, I'm obviously not nearly as good as you guys, but I'm matching up, you know, making sure I'm giving Marty the ball every single time, because this guy threw it off of the ceiling and then pinched in for a worm burner 50 into the bottom left corner. That is absolutely crazy. But you guys did a fantastic job. Any last words before we switch it over?
No, it was just a really good game, and I don't know. I enjoyed that a lot more than I thought I was going to. I was a little nervous because it's the #1 seed. They demolished us earlier this season, but it was a good game.
Yeah, well, I may have lost a lot of Bison Bucks, but I'm still very happy that you guys won. It was a very fun game to watch. But we're going to throw it over to K-Tool. He's got some very fun things to say up on the stage, apparently. I'm not too sure. So we're going to switch over to K-Tool, and we'll be right back.